on Dawn Street, being concerned about the flooding. It is a big concern. We've been very lucky the last couple of years with flooding. As Kevin mentioned, those ponds on Bebop, they come right down through Finleyville. So all those communities up there participate in holding the water back to hold your house from being flooded. It all has to work together. It's a complicated system. I don't believe the engineers of Union Township design the ponds. I believe Washington County Conservation designs each pond for the capacity. And we're very lucky with the amount of rain we've had not to be flooded. But that rain that came down for a day, a lot of us would be underwater. Not to a fault of ours. It's just it was a severe rain. I bumped into Dave Monday night, 9 o'clock or 9:30. I was out myself. I was walking around and checking stuff. I mean, I think we do as good as anybody can do.
I drove on a lot of the roads in the township, and there was a lot of water running across the road. I drove on a lot of the roads in our township on Monday night, just to see what was going on, and that's,
88,
you know.
88 down by Bob's Tavern, it was flooded.
Mr. Larson, go up to the mic, talk. Can I talk for a minute?
Sure.
Kevin Howell, Dawn Street. Like I said about the flooding, what they did recently in the past 2 years, like I said about Streets and Road in Allegheny County, I'm sure you might be familiar with it.
Yes, I am.
What they did to alleviate a lot of the flooding down there is they deepened the creek beds down there. Because if you go down by the nursery diner, as you get down there, the creek is literally even with the road. They actually took excavators down there, cut through a lot of the sandstone and stuff, and actually deepened the creeks up, which actually helped out quite a bit.
On the rain that we just had,
Yes.
4 cars had to be rescued with a boat in Chapman. Yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't work well. And right there where they built the new sheets on Lebanon Hills Road, there were 3 cars that had to be rescued by a boat.
Another thing they did recently in the past 2 years, down McLaughlin Run Road, they had bad rain. Once you get that further down where the ball field used to be, they took that ball field out.
Yeah.
And actually made that a holding pond area to catch all the debris. Because they got, I think it was 40 cars out of that creek. And I think there's 5 deaths in that.
I appreciate it. We are being as proactive as we can.
Yeah.
And if I remember 3 years ago when I came on board, I donated equipment and myself helping on the creeks and cleaning out. But we had some resident turn me in that was in the creek cleaning out. So you can't do everything you want to do. That's all I would say.
That's exactly what I was gonna talk about. A couple of years ago, we had some flooding in our township.
Oh, God.
And this board, some members of this board up here, took proactive measures, got out there, got easements signed to clean the creek banks. First time that's ever happened. First time. I remember being in these meetings, and Linda Evans was the chairman, right there. And she sat right up there and said, we can't help you if you bought in a flood zone, when those complaints were brought before her. Unlike this board, you guys went out and you tried to make a difference. And you're right, Mr. Lawson, for your good deed, you got turned into the DEP. So there you go. And I hate to keep pounding it home. I don't know why these people are so unhappy. You're trying to go out there and make a difference, and you get turned into the DEP. When you're trying to clean up the retention ponds, call gets made to the DEP. People make a big deal. What's he doing up there? Trying to help the community. Put that on Facebook. Put that on Facebook about Mr. Lawson going up to, and you can do that, Ms. Spiglisi. You can make that gesture to me. And you're allowed to do that. I saw what you did. But here's the thing, and that's fine, and you can do that all you want. But here's the thing, please put on there the good things that Mr. Lawson does.
Don't hear it. Don't hear it.
What Mr. Latour talked about tonight. These are good people. and they're trying to help this community.
Can I say one other thing?
No, good God.